Hello, everybody. Welcome back. SC360 number 7 is in the house talking about the Legacy Summit starting now. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Socially Connected 360. This is episode number 7. Number 7. I'm excited about this show. And of course, as you see a familiar face, I mean, he might be a co-host. I got Gio on the show with me. I got Mr. Carlos on the show with me. But before we do that, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, which I think is extremely important for our youth, for our community, for the future of our nation, for the future of our state. We're going to get into all that, but I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, Make a Statement Apparel. Once again, sponsored episode 6, now sponsoring episode number 7. You can find them, Make a Statement, Facebook. My boy Lamar Watson, really good friend of mine, entrepreneur, decided to sponsor this show as well. So shout out to him. Shout out to Make a Statement. As you can see, I'm wearing the cover, wearing the hat, and we're excited about that. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to be on every platform. All right. YouTube, Spotify. I mean, you name it. We're on it, and we're going to make sure that we connect you with wonderful people. But today's a very, very wonderful day for us because we get to talk to 2 young leaders in our community. I know they have 4 members on their board, and we're going to bring those other 2 on next time. But we're going to talk about something that's exciting. I mean, but first, I'm going to let them intro themselves. We'll start with Gio. Gio, we know who you are, but just give a shout out to the people, man.
What's up, everybody? I'm back. My name is Gio Negron-Garcia. I am actually the Chief Executive Director of what we're going to be talking about today, which is the Legacy Summit. I'm currently a Kutztown senior. We'll be graduating in May, and I'll be headed off to IUP very soon. And yeah, that's just basically me. I'm just a kid from Reading, Pennsylvania, and I'm just making things happen with all the energy and excitement that I bring everywhere I go.
Good deal, man. It's always good to see you, bro. But you didn't give me your signature, so I don't know what's going on here. What's up? Give me your signature. Let's go. You got to give me that signature, Gio, man. We're going to make
I'm
it
not
happen.
even in my pizza costume. But anyway, everybody, please do not get lost in the pizza sauce because see, that's too much sodium. You don't want too much sodium. That's unhealthy.
It's Monday. And obviously it's we're a little bit tired, but we're gonna get ready for the week. All right, on my next guest, I'm excited to meet him. I've seen his energy. I've seen him working with Gio. I've seen him working in different areas. My man Carlos, how you doing? Let people know who you are, how you been, and how's everything going.
Oh man, I'm doing great. I really can't complain. Life is great. The man above is even better. I want to introduce myself to everybody. My name is Carlos Brinkley. I'm a senior at Kutztown University studying general education along with special education. I'm from Bristol, Pennsylvania, so that's about 20 minutes away from Northeast Philadelphia in the Bucks County area. I um I plan to become a guidance counselor in the future. But I'm in all ways, shapes, or form a proponent of self-love, mental health, and just instilling and empowering, just leadership skills that that the youth can really come up on and follow. So we're looking to kind of create a blueprint for them to follow because we believe that it truly starts with the youth. And this target audience that we're focusing on is just that young adolescent stage, that slash teenager stage, because that's an important part in one's life. And we want them to blossom into their own people so they can go out and make an impact in the world.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's just interesting because everything you are doing is like you see like this wonderful energy, right? So when I go on your social media platforms, because obviously, Gio knows what I do for a living, but I normally do it to come on the show so I can see, obviously I'm gonna try to connect you and connect with your base, you connect with my base, but I get to know you, right? And I seen that you bringing that energy just like Gio. So this is wonderful, man. And so Gio, you got two other members. Can you give a shout out to them? Let us know a little bit about them.
Yes, we also have Chana Lee Rodriguez and Belicia Kingsley from Allentown, Pennsylvania, both incredible people. Um, Chana Lee being the executive director and Balicia being our marketing and social media director. Both amazing people that we brought on, and we're so excited to be working with them.
That's awesome, man. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. We introed the team. We got the team. We got the team ready to go. So I'm excited because I get to watch this this thing grow, right? So you started with an idea. Gio, tell me about this idea. How did this come about?
Well, it first came about during the pandemic, coming off the Pennsylvania Latino Convention, because obviously we know what happened, why it wasn't at full scale. Um, when I was held responsible for the Youth Summit, in a sense, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. Because I was the only one presenting. It was really last minute, and I had to step up and give to the youth as much as possible. But after that, I was motivated to create something that was authentic, that was created for the youth, that was created so that the youth did not feel that they are forced to follow a path, that they can follow their own path and be who they are. And I said, what is that all about when we're going down a path? What is that all about when we are creating something that's going to last with us, that's going to actually younger generations are going to see? Yeah. And that plays into legacy. And I said, what do we have to call this thing? What is this idea that has been brewing inside me for years and years and years, but I've never been able to execute it? And it hasn't been motivational speaking, and it hasn't been me doing what I'm doing with college admissions. Is something real. And I said, I need to call this the Legacy Summit. And when I said this in December, I think 2 months later, I talked to not actually 2 months later, during that month, I talked to China Lee and I said, let's do this. But if I need a team, I cannot form a team with people I've worked with in the past. I need to work with people who are in different areas, with different backgrounds. And I brought in China Lee. I've been working with China Lee for years, but we never did a project together. But she's from Allentown. I'm from Reading. And I said, we need someone else. So 2 months later, I found Carlos. Yeah. Carlos and me were watching football. We were eating pizza as per usual. We're eating pizza. And I said, Carlos, I got this idea. And Carlos listened in the entire time. He stood an extra hour. I think we were just having a gathering with friends, but he stood an extra hour. And he said, I'm in. So now I have someone who can represent the Bucks County area. And then we brought in Balicia, who is also from Allentown, but she has an extensive background because she actually attends Temple University. So gets a little bit of an experience of what it's like to be in Philadelphia. Okay. So what brought this all together is because I wanted to create something where I envisioned something so authentic for the youth, where it's no photo ops, there's no political agenda. It's just them. It's just them creating something for themselves. Yeah. And how they share, that's on them. So yeah, that's how I got started.
Well, I mean, and everything starts with an idea. I mean, right? We all have things that we want to do in life, and obviously, and well, I would say it starts with an idea, but it also starts with our experience, right? So what we experience in life. So Carlos, tell me, why you're so passionate about helping people. Like this summit's about helping young people, right? I read what your mission statement is, and we could talk about that in a little bit. But tell me, like, is there anything that you experience in life, maybe a lack of something, or tell me a little bit about why you're so passionate about this and how you got involved.
You know what? I would have to say that it honestly started out with me loving myself. I was in a place before the pandemic even hit. I was in a place where I thought that I found the person who I was, and I truly wasn't. So when the pandemic came about, it put me in a space and it gave me the capacity to really find out who I was, and not only to find out who I was, but actually to love the person that I was becoming and to love the person that I was at the present moment. So after that came about, I'm truly a proponent of loving yourself first. We need to love others, because once we love others, then we can bring change, and then once we bring change, then there's no stopping us. So once I found out that I had a passion and a love to care for others, that's when I started really finding ways to give back to the community, or even just to show people that I'm an advocate, not for only people in educational settings, but people elsewhere, so. And I think everything was just really a divine time, honestly, because during the midst of the pandemic, fortunately, I was able to grab a job at Comfort Keepers. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Comfort Keepers, but it's
Tell us
an
about it.
in-home care agency that is really spread out nationwide. But I'm based in the Reading area, the West Lawn area,
Okay.
and I work with the elderly,
Okay.
and so that came at a time to where I was developing into a person who really thought about others before thinking about myself. It's still with me still loving myself in a sense. I still was always thinking about others first. So I think that this job really gave me an opportunity to put my money where my mouth was,
Yeah.
nonetheless. And that's when I started performing various duties and taking on responsibilities, taking care of the elderly. So ever since I've been working here, my passion for helping people has elevated, in a lot of ways. So when Gio came to me with this idea, I told him that I was behind him every step of the way, and I honestly didn't even expect him to invite me on this journey, but which he did, and I'm so grateful for it. And I can't really thank him enough. The only way that I feel as though I can truly thank him is to give my devoted time and energy to this to make something big.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Let me tell you, the convention itself, I was part of it for 2 or 3 years. It's massive. It's a massive deal because it's about helping people. Like you said, like you love to help people, but this is another way to help people, right? And I know that this summit is going to be the same way. And you being a teacher, obviously, in your journey to do that, it's going to be perfect because you get to be in a convention around folks that want to be there, folks that are influential, and then folks that want to be taught, that want to learn, right? So
Right.
it's just a perfect recipe for a person like
Absolutely.
yourself. And then when you bring that energy, obviously Gio's been there. I mean, I've been there, and the energy is like, I'm sure you've been to other events and other conventions that, once you get there, man, the people that are there, they want to be there. You know what I'm saying? And they
Mhm.
want to learn. So let's talk about that a little bit, Gio. The summit, right? So you call it a summit. Why?
The reason I call it a summit because it's going to be really conversation based. That's pretty much what it is. It's going to be a lot of conversation, and also, with the youth being together in the same room, there's going to be a lot of different mindsets. This is separates from a leadership conference because with a leadership conference, they already have their agenda. They kind of already have what they're going to do, and they do the same thing every single year. Is nothing different.
Okay.
This is something that's original. It's nothing that has been done like this because our presenters, they're going to be the same age as us, 22 or younger, who are already killing it out there in the field.
That's dope.
The people who are going to be there, same age as us. The
That's
people running it, the same age. We're all 22 or younger. And the fact that this is happening at the Pennsylvania Latino Convention is huge. When I
yeah.
presented this to Norman, Origa, and Deborah, they loved it. They gave me feedback on it, but they still wanted to support it because they knew something like this has not been done in its capacity. Now we were going to face with COVID-19 situations, yes. That's still going to be there. We're not avoiding it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So,
Yeah.
so people. I mean, obviously, the last year was virtual, right? The convention, but
Mhm.
that was a convention. So just let the people know what are the precautions? What are you all doing with the COVID-19 deal? What's that about?
So how I like to say it is, right now we're at the stage that, right now we're just planning on creating that atmosphere. A lot of places inside they're letting people in, they're allowing events. But how I like to say it is however it is at that time,
Mhm.
whatever Pennsylvania decides to do, that is what the convention will look like.
Yeah, yeah.
Vaccinations are rolling out. They are predicting things are be good by June or July. More people can start doing indoor events. I'm really happy now to see these sporting events. They're allowing a lot more people indoors, and
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know But that's as much as I can share with
Yeah.
about the Pennsylvania Latino
Well,
Convention. It's just whatever it's looking like at that time.
I got a request, right? Because I know the
Yeah.
convention, they had masks last year. Obviously, they
Mhm.
give out a mask. Is the Legacy Summit gonna have a mask? Because if they do, I want a mask because it's the first year. So I want. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have masks there. So I'm
Yeah.
just putting that out there. Hook a brother up. Maybe we'll wear it here, and we'll give you a shout out, SC360. So Carlos, um, I'm just gonna get to the meat of it though. What does legacy mean to you? You guys are calling this the Legacy Summit. You're obviously passionate about it. What does legacy mean to you?
What legacy means to me is, I would have to say in the simplest terms, it means,
That's a deep question.
yeah, it is.
You
It
next,
is.
brother. You next.
It really is, and I really got to actually absorb the
I
question
love
because
it.
I
I
want to
love it.
make sure that I answer it in
I
its
love it.
entirety.
I love it. We need that.
Um,
Teaching young people, young folks, watch this. You got to think about the question, right? So
right,
you got to think
right.
about, you got it because it's deep. It's deep.
It
It's a deep
is. It
question.
is
It's a deep
absolutely.
question. So,
It's complex in many ways,
yeah.
shapes, and forms. But I would really have to say that legacy is, mm, mm, in its most simplest terms, legacy is truly the sacrifices, or you know what? I'm just gonna say it's the blueprint that you set for the ones that are to come.
That's the show, baby. That's the show. There it
That's
is.
the
The
whole show.
blueprint. Say it
That's what it
again.
is.
The blueprint for say it again. What the blueprint for those to come? Is that what you said?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Man,
Mhm.
man. I mean that within itself is powerful, and I love that you call it the Legacy Summit because legacy is important. Gio, what does it mean to you, brother?
What legacy means to me is something that you can leave behind and be proud of, and but also for the younger generations to follow up on,
Mm,
providing them a path. That's what legacy is. Not only just worried about what you establish, but what others can establish following you
yeah,
and the influence that you put on this world. That's what legacy means to me. Um, and like Carlos says, it's leaving the blueprint. That's pretty much, um, yeah, exactly. Legacy is a journey. It's
yeah,
just a journey, and and you know me, I've been huge on this thing called a journey. Um, so yeah, that's what legacy is to me.
man. And I think if young people, right? So they come here, they come to this Legacy Summit, obviously, right? And we're talking about because I came from humble beginnings. I know some of your stories. You all probably came from humble beginnings, right? Um, I needed something like this because we didn't talk about legacy. We never talked about legacy when I was a kid. So the fact that you all are coming out here and putting on a legacy summit to talk to young people about that. I mean, how many lives could you save? How many lives could you? It's unbelievable. I mean, because
Right.
I don't remember talking about it when I was a kid. I mean, if you talk about it, right, and then you be about it, and then you connect with the way that you are going to connect, right? You're going to stay together. So you're going to stay with that group. So you're going to get those people's information. You're going to stay on top. Hey, how you been? You coming to next year's Legacy Summit, or you want to be an ambassador, right? That within itself creates a community, and that within itself creates a stronger, uh, you know, community that's from humble beginnings, right? And that's powerful.
Mhm.
So real quick, what can a first time attendee, obviously this is the first year, but you obviously, Gio, worked in the convention before. What can a first year attendee or an attendee expect when they get there?
Well, when they're attending the convention itself, what they're going to expect is a lot of loving and a lot of love and hospitality, a lot of people rejoicing because this is the first time we are coming together in this at that capacity. Hopefully, we are able to come together if nothing crazy happens. We already know 2020 and 2021 are not years to remember. um,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
tough.
and what they to expect is a lot of energy, a lot of education is going to be, a lot of knowledge is going to be thrown at you, but be prepared to take it all in, but as well as have fun. And when they come into the Legacy Summit, be prepared to create a blueprint.
Mm.
And
So
that's what I'm.
you're creating content on the show. You're creating content right on the show, man. That's
Exactly.
dope. That's dope. So, Carlos, have you attended anything like this before, or any type of like something similar to this?
Hmm. You know what? You know what? The only thing that comes close to this, I would say, are things that people have held in the community. You know, such as maybe drives, maybe game nights, or parties for the middle school or teenagers. But in not in this capacity, I wouldn't say. And I'm very grateful to be a part of something that I would be experiencing firsthand, and also something to be a part of. So this is very special to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, there's a first time for everything, right? So you might as well just be the pioneer. Might as well be the
Absolutely.
pioneer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
I think in where we come from, um, I think a lot of times we're kind of scared, right? And I admit it. We're kind of scared to do these type of things. Like, who am I, right?
Mhm.
Who am I to do this? But we have to teach our young folks that you can be involved in this. You can do this.
Absolutely.
You can do these things, and you can connect with a Carlos. You can connect with a Geo. You can connect with the Legacy Summit. So there is a cover, right? You got it. You got. There's going to be a price point. Anything on that right now, or is that still on standby, or how's that going to work?
That's currently on standby. We're working on that. Until when we get all those details together, we'll make sure to publicize all of that.
Awesome, awesome. So, can you give us a little bit of idea, and we're gonna wrap this up here in a little bit, but can you give us a little idea? So can you paint the picture? I want to paint the picture for people, right? So when I was doing marketing for the convention, I always wanted to make sure that before they get there, they're gonna get a good idea of what it is that they're walking into, right? And I think we touched on it a little bit earlier in the show, but I'm talking about painting the picture in the mind, right? So
Hmm.
so they get to the hotel, right? Is there a hotel? Is there a convention center? Is it where do you propose it's gonna be, or where do you think it's gonna be at? And then walk through that process. Like, are we gonna be wearing suits? Like, I'm ready to wear my suits. I haven't worn my suits because of COVID-19. So you know what I'm saying? I'm over
Exactly.
here wearing ties on the podcast because it's my style, you know what I mean? But
Exactly.
so walk us through that, man, because I think that's important.
So not to give too much detail, since we're going to be announcing that soon.
Ah,
Just know it is going to be at a hotel. Not saying which hotel.
okay,
We don't
okay.
know,
It's gonna
and
be at
doesn't
one.
matter what which city it's going to be in. I'm not going to give that away. Just know you will be walking into a hotel,
I got you.
and once you walk into that hotel, you're going to see people dressed up, and it's a beautiful hotel. You're going to see people dressed up,
You got
ready to go,
you got
connecting,
you got a
networking.
registration table. You get lanyards and
Yeah,
everything.
you'll be getting a lanyard. You'll be
Ah,
checking in. You'll be seeing business cards flying all over the place,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you're going to be approached by a couple people ready to meet you.
Mm,
People are going to give you a hug. Hopefully, we can give each other hugs during that time. I
yeah.
think it's still going to happen. It's going to happen regardless.
Oh, we get some elbows.
Um,
You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? We give some elbows. You know what I mean? That's
exactly. Get some elbows,
How you doing,
and
brother?
and you're just going to be in a place of energy that probably has not been felt in a long time. That you need to be there to experience. Because if you have not felt it, if you have felt it during this pandemic, this is going to be a whole another level of energy you're going to be feeling. And you're going to want to be there at this hotel with no specific location. and but we know where it's going to be.
yeah,
You're going to find out very soon,
yeah, yeah.
and we're going to let everybody know. But
I,
I'm going to tell you right now, this place is very near dear to me and Carlos,
I got you. I got you.
and even China and Belicia. So
Hmm.
understand we're all from different areas, so you don't know where it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I like to create that
Mhm.
visual, right? Because I think we're in a very visual state of mind, especially lately with COVID-19. Like, everybody's excited to get somewhere to do something, right? So
Mhm.
so I just remember going into the convention, and just like the moment that you walk in there and you just see everybody. You got the educational area, you got the all the breakout sessions, you got panel discussions. I mean, there's like
You
five, six different things happening around,
got Jose talks.
at one time. Yeah, you got Jose talks, kind of like TED talks. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that within itself is very exciting, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
there's
for young leaders it is as well. I mean,
right. There's just a lot going on. You're going to be experiencing a little bit of everything. How a convention should truly be put together,
mhm,
and as well as the summit, how a summit should have been put together with a strict agenda about current issues that are currently happening that we should be approaching. And at the end of the convention, at the end of the summit, you're going to take this knowledge and you're going to present it back to your communities, present it to your community leaders, and create this great energy in your community to bring things back to where they were before. And I think that's the great thing about the Legacy Summit as well as the Pennsylvania Latino Convention. We're all inclusive. We want everybody there. Hopefully, we can invite way more than what we had last year.
mhm.
Because last year was just a recording. This year, it's hopefully we're going to be back in person, and everybody will be in. Everybody will just be there.
Yeah, yeah. So my last question, real quick, we can close it out. Um, Carlos, if you had a legacy summit as a young man, I mean, I know you're a young man, but you're ready to take over the world. Um, but
Absolutely.
yeah, if you had a legacy summit at 16, 17, 18, or 19, what does that mean for you?
Hmm. If I were to have a young legacy summit in my younger years, I think that, and we talk about, it may be cliche to say, but we always say, if we knew what we knew, if we know what we know now, if we knew that then, we would have done things differently. But I mean, everything happens for a reason. So whatever
Absolutely.
happened then, it happened, and it happened for a specific reason. But I think that if I were to have this legacy summit, I think I would have done things a little bit differently. I think I would have probably narrowed my path earlier than what I did. And what I mean by that is, I mean, I would have detach myself from certain individuals earlier than what I did. I think I
Mhm.
would have had a bigger game plan earlier. And it's never too late to have a game plan. It's never ever too late. So don't ever feel like it's too late.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately I think I would have just moved a little differently, and I would have been much wiser than I am now. But I'm content to where I'm at now. I don't want to say I'm comfortable,
Yeah.
because I have a lot to achieve and I still have a lot to fulfill. But ultimately, I think I would have just did things a little differently. That's all.
Yeah, and that's dope. And that's dope. So Gio, I pose the same question to you, man. I pose the same question to you. What does a younger Gio get out of this legacy summit?
Everything I need in order to be successful for the future. Where
Mm,
I'm at now, and you've seen everything I've done to this point.
Yeah, you're working. Both of you guys
If
are working. The whole
if
team is working.
if the Legacy Summit was there when I needed it the most,
Yeah.
I will probably be farther than I am now,
Yeah, well,
and
you're in a good
with a
spot.
great blueprint.
mhm,
Yeah, man. Well, I will tell you this. If it was me and a younger Lewis gets to go to a legacy summit, a younger Lewis doesn't fail twice in high school. I don't
mm,
I really believe that. I really
mm,
believe that. And like you said, stuff happens for a reason. We're not
absolutely.
who we are today if we didn't live the life that we lived and struggle the struggle that
Exactly.
we struggled, right?
Hmm.
Mhm,
However, I didn't want to struggle that way. And I don't want young people, and I know I speak for both of, I mean, we could all speak about this together. We don't want young people to make the same mistakes that we made, and we don't want them to go through the same struggles that we did.
mhm,
So it is cliche to say that, but I think it's important that we really remember those times where we struggled. And this right here, this legacy summit, the little bit that we know right now, I know you're still putting it together. We're gonna have the website. You got your mission statement. You got your base. You got your team. You got the spot that you don't want to put out yet, but we'll get that later on. Um, I think it makes a tremendous impact on a younger Lewis because I get to connect with all of you. I get to get your knowledge. I get to hear about your mistakes, your successes. And I think this is great, man. I think this is great for not only for younger folks, but even for the older folks, because as the older folks see the young energy coming into this convention, they get energized.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That's important. That's
Hmm.
anything. I mean, you could see it. I mean, we talk about everything here in church, right? Your strongest churches have a youth congregation, like
Hmm.
the youth. If they got a strong youth, that church is thriving. They're bringing that energy, right? Because
Right.
the older folks, they can bring that energy, but if you have a strong base in your church that's youth related, I'm telling you, man. And that goes with anything. You gotta, like we talked about in one of our last episodes with Steve Flavo from Executive. Their youth, their students are ready. Like they got a lot of
Mhm.
energy. So I want to say thank you. I'm gonna let you give out some parting, remarks. I'll go with you, Carlos. Anything you want to tell the people to end the show?
Oh man, I mean, I just want to tell everybody to, just really take the time to find out who you are, find out what you love in life, and don't live the life that anybody wants you to live, or that any don't live the way that anybody tells you to live. Live your life the way that you want to live your life the way that you want your future grandkids, great grandkids, live the life that they're going to be proud to mention you about. So just be yourself and be pure and be authentic, because that will always prevail over anything else.
Awesome, man. Thanks, bro. I mean, you motivate me. I'm 41, but I'm ready to go. I'm gonna have to get like a fake ID to get into this because we gonna be wearing masks, so you ain't gonna be able to see me. And I'm working out a lot. I rode 5 miles today. I'm doing
Hey
5Ks
man,
every other
health
day, bro.
health is wealth too, man. Health is wealth.
Absolutely. So I might have to sneak into this legacy summit. So Gio.
I guess if I'm gonna leave you with something today, remember that your legacy belongs to you, but never compare your legacy to someone else's.
Mm.
Hmm.
Your legacy is what you leave behind and what everybody's gonna remember you for.
And
Hmm.
that is how we end the show. The Legacy Summit is here. You heard it first here. Well, you might heard it a little bit on social media, but we got to interview got the first interview of the first year. The Legacy Summit 2021 is here. We're excited. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to both of you, to your team. I know we're going to bring the other two on. It's a lot to have 4 people on at one time. So we're going to bring the other two on in the future. We're going to continue to market this, but I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. Both of you, I'm proud of you, man. I love to be connected with folks like you. You motivate me. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. SC360 number 7. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with these two young leaders. Legacy Summit 2021. Like I always say, stay connected.